It's not often when you come across douchebaggery that reaches epic proportions. But when you do, you're not always 100% sure that the douchebag in question isn't just trolling you. Hey, I'm going to do a review of a channel that goes by the name Auditing the Auditors, his edition. Now, the first thing that strikes me is the name of the channel because it's almost a direct ripoff of a channel that's been around for a while called Audit the Audit, where the guy that runs Audit the Audit does reviews of audits from a very level-headed and generally an unbiased perspective, and throws in a lot of legal evaluations and whatnot. I don't know if the guy's a lawyer or what, but he really digs down into the law, and they're good videos to watch. So I would say, I would suggest that if you're not familiar with Audit the Audit, go over and take a look at the channel, subscribe, watch some of the videos, give them the thumbs up on the ones that you like, so on. In this case, the channel Auditing the Auditors, his edition, is not done from an unbiased perspective. It's done from the perspective of a bootlicker. And not just your average run-of-the-mill bootlicker. Like, this guy is bootlicker extraordinaire. He loves to talk about things like the military and the accolades to the police forces, and all the hardships that the law enforcement and the military go through, and he throws in the occasional gratuitous gun, and likes to talk like he's got the 1,000-yard stare and all of this stuff, just to kind of co-opt a particular audience, right? It's the blind, patriotic, flag-waving buffoon that never stops to think about anything with a critical eye, kind of thing. And today we're going to review this video that's entitled "Must See, Can You Crack the Window for the Batusi? Heck no! First Amendment Counter Audit number 3." This is a video where he audits a video that was done by a guy, a YouTube channel that goes by the name The Batusi. If you're here, you probably already know who The Batusi is anyway. A gentleman by the name of Philip Turner, who a few years ago made history with this particular video in question by creating case law in the First Circuit Court of Appeals. So this is the video that Mr. Auditing the Auditors, his edition, is reviewing. Let's take a look and see how he does.
This audit brought to you by Auditing the Auditors, his edition. We had such a damn good time in Dallas. You know what we're going to do? We're going to take another trip back to Dallas and see what we can muster up this time, all right? Now, before we head that way, this is the part of the program where we give a shout out to all those folks that throw that uniform on, go out there, pound that pavement, kick them rocks, and every once in a while go kick a little ass. That's what the hell I'm talking about, baby. So without further ado, let's go do some auditing.
I mean, could you be any more of a bootlicker? Hey, yeah. Hey, this is a shout out to all you jackbooted thugs in uniform, and your little costumes with your pseudo military grade weapons. Putting your boots squarely on the fists of those law abiding citizens and teaching them who the boss is. Because it's you, right? And that's really all we need to know, is that it's us. I mean, come on, dude. Seriously. You've got your tongue so far up law enforcement's hind end, you can taste what they had for breakfast. palatable.
Ting. Now, folks, what I'd like to do right now is open up the time capsule, take you on back to 2015. And I did tell you folks that I wasn't going to give you any more history lessons, but this is definitely well worth hearing. This right here is Philip Turner. The name of his YouTube channel is called The Batusai.
Yeah, it's pronounced Batusai. And everybody knows who this guy is. He's famous in the auditing community. Like I said, this guy here is responsible for making case law.
Which is probably the reason that he's wearing the stupid Batman shirt. And what Philip likes to do is take long strolls on the sidewalk with his little camera in hand and film companies' personal assets and employees. And
see, and I'm pretty sure that's fictional. I've watched a lot of Philip Turner's videos, and I don't recall ever seeing him filming private companies or private employees or personal assets, anything like that. This guy here, he's just pulling shit out of his ass, making stuff up. I could be wrong about that because I don't know all of Philip's catalog, his portfolio of entertainment, but I don't think that was a very large portion of it right there, bud.
See if he can get a rise out of business owners and such. That's what he really likes to do. But on this particular day, soon after this...
You got any ID, sir? Sir, do you have any ID?
Well, one of the Dallas Metro police officers forgot that Batman was in the back of the car with the windows rolled up. It happens. It happens all the time, I'm pretty sure. Well, the next thing you know, IA investigations were launched, civil lawsuits were filed. The next thing you know, we're sitting in front of the Federal Court of Appeals, 5th District, where these idiots ended up voting 2-1 in favor of Batman.
Because the legislative system is just idiots, right? The 5th Circuit Court of Appeals, they're just stupid idiots, right? That whole Constitution thing, the legislative branch, the judicial branch, all of that stuff, they're just a bunch of idiots. We don't have to adhere to the Constitution or anything like that. It doesn't really mean anything. This guy Philip Turner should have just had his butt handed to him, and that should have been the end of it, according to Auditing the Auditors, his edition.
It was only a mild case of asphyxiation. I really don't understand what the problem was. But this subsequent...
You don't understand that people shouldn't be detained when they're not committing a crime, right? They're on public property, exercising their constitutionally protected rights, and the cops come along and hem them up, handcuff them, throw them in the back of a police car in the middle of summer, and roll the windows up, hotboxing them. When they've done nothing wrong, you don't get that, really. You don't understand that. I don't know how it could be any more clear. I mean, you'd almost have to be either completely retarded or just a general douchebag not to get it.
Quickly launched a litany of fucktards into the atmosphere, hell-bent to taking a big old dump on our right to privacy.
Your right to privacy. What fucking right is that? Is that like the 40th Amendment? I lifted that from Rogue Nation the last time somebody flung that whole thing about the right to privacy at him. You have no right to privacy in public, douchebag. If you want privacy, go home. Shut the curtains. Shut your doors and your windows. Create the privacy that you want on your own property. When you're in public, you got no right to privacy. No right to privacy in public, bud. And that's just the way it is, and that's the way it should be. That's the way it always has been. You know, that's why you can take a camera to the beach and take pictures of girls in their bikinis. Because if they're going to wear a bikini in public and somebody takes their picture, guess what? There's not a thing you can do about it. So, just inane stupidity coming from this guy's cake hole.
And we all have this numbnuts to thank. Beating our kids in public, drinking too much Jack Daniels while we're just trying to sit around, watch a little YouTube, listen to banjo music, getting a camera shoved up our ass in public.
See, this is exactly why I can't tell if this guy's seriously a douchebag or if he's just trolling, right? Because, you know, he's making little of all the, you know, these actions that people do in public that somebody might come along and video, you know, drinking too much Jack Daniels, beating your kids and all that stuff. Yeah, if you're doing that kind of stuff in public, then you absolutely deserve to have your stupid mug broadcast all over the internet, right? So I tend to wonder if this guy is just not just joking around about this stuff, man. Is he trolling or is he seriously a douchebag? I don't know, man. I like to think that this level of douchebaggery is not possible, but I honestly think he's totally serious.
Thanks a lot, Philip. Greatly appreciate it. We're going to have to start doing some auditing before I throw some shit. Yeah, this blockhead actually recorded the car driving through, the gate opening and closing. Riveting TV.
You watched it. We all watched it. And as a matter of fact, it elicited a response from these knuckle-dragging morons wearing the freaking Mr. America costumes with their Batman belts and all of that stuff. And it ended up in case law being made, brother.
How's it going, man?
Now watch this particular asshole here. Like, right out of the gate, you got your ID. Why don't you just give me your Fourth Amendment right here? Just bend over. Bend over and pull down your drop trowel for me. I need to breech load you like a double-barrel shotgun.
You got any ID, sir? Sir, do you have any ID?
It just boggles my mind that some of these people have the restraint that they do. Because I just want to belt this guy after asking him a couple of times for his ID, and him not even saying a word.
Yes.
I completely agree with that notion. It boggles the imagination how Philip Turner has such restraint here when this guy walks up unsolicited and starts asking, you know, for his ID, asking him to give up his Fourth Amendment right, you know, right out of the gate, how Philip Turner doesn't just haul off and slap this guy, you know. I mean, that's my personal instinctive response. I would just say, you know, I just want to slap this guy across the face. But, you know, obviously it would be wise to engage some restraint and not do that, you know. But somebody just came up. Imagine if he wasn't wearing the costume and he didn't have that little shiny thing on his chest. Imagine just another regular guy walking up to you right out of nowhere and going, "Hey, you got any ID? Give me your ID." What would you say to that guy? You'd tell him to go fuck himself, right? So what is it about this costume and this shiny little badge and that stupid fucking haircut that where he's bald and those stupid sunglasses, that fat round head of his, that cue ball looking skull that makes you think that that's an okay way to approach somebody who's not breaking any laws? Really?
Yes, no, maybe. Do you have any ID, sir?
Am I being detained?
For investigation. With everything that's going on in this world, especially involving law enforcement, you're walking around law enforcement facility with a video camera. We like to know who's surrounding our complexes.
That was a cop-splaining before cop-splaining was a thing, man. Look, did you hear that mealy-mouthed response? In this day and age, people walking around on public property, minding their own business, not breaking any laws. We need to find out who they are, and that gives us the authority to detain you just because, fuck you, we want to.
Do you have any ID? Or are you refusing to ID yourself, sir?
What's your name and badge number?
Officer Art Reynolds, ID 3825. Are you refusing to ID yourself, sir?
What's your name and badge number?
2586.
At least these public servants understand that their policy is that they identify themselves on request of a citizen immediately and without questioning it. At least in that sense, they're good public servants, as far as that's concerned. They jumped when Philip Turner said jump, just like they were supposed to.
Thank you.
Are you refusing to ID yourself, sir?
I'm not being detained.
Yes, you are.
For what crime?
I didn't say you committed a crime, but I have the...
Well, well, guess what there, cue ball? Yeah, in order to detain someone, you have to have a little something called RAS of a crime. Reasonable, articulable suspicion that the person is in the process of, has, or is about to commit a crime. You don't have it. You don't have that RAS there, retard. That's why Philip Turner took you all the way to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals and butt-raped you publicly for the whole world to see.
For further investigation, depending on the outcome of what's going on, you're walking around a law enforcement facility very suspiciously with a video camera. In light of what's going on...
Oh my God, suspicious activity, and he's got a camera. Oh my goodness gracious. Is suspicious a felony or is it a misdemeanor, as we most commonly hear in the auditing community? It's neither. Suspicious ain't a crime. Filming with a camera ain't a crime. Look at this little thing on Do-Jigger's shoulder here. What do you suppose that is? I believe that's a camera, a police camera. So why is it okay for Cue Ball here to walk around with a camera on his shoulder, filming whatever he damn well pleases? It's not okay for Philip Turner to stand on the same public property and film what he can see from a public vantage. Where's the disconnect here, people?
We have the right and authority to know who's walking around our facility.
Wait. We got to replay that. Did he not just sound like the water boy to you?
Have the right and authority to know who's walking around
What was that? One more time.
Suspiciously with a video camera. In light of what's going on, we have the right and authority to know who's walking around our facility.
My mama said the reason the alligator ornery because he got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
Please.
That's incorrect.
Okay, do you have your ID? Are you refusing to ID yourself? Yes or no?
What happens if I don't ID myself?
No? Then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Okay. But you have to tell me what happens.
Hey, if you don't do what I say, something's going to happen, but we'll just figure that out when you don't do what I say.
If I don't ID myself?
No, I don't. I'm not required to tell you that.
Yeah, you are.
Are you? Yes or no?
And you learned that too, didn't you?
Once again, what crime have I committed?
I've already explained that to you. I don't need to explain it to you again. Are you or are you not going to identify yourself?
My mama said.
Code 38.02.
Answer my question. I get to answer the questions here. It's my investigation, not yours.
I'm not going to ID myself.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
And this is how you respond to a First Amendment audit. Toss a couple questions out there, you're getting no response, you're not getting any cooperation from the asshole. You know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna fucking throw you in a pair of ching-chings. We're gonna throw you in the back of this hot car, okay?
Is this guy really serious? I mean, is he not a douchebag, bootlicking moron of the highest order? Or is he just trolling us? I don't know. I mean, dude, you think that that's the correct way to handle somebody who hasn't broken any laws, to handcuff them because they don't answer your question? You do realize that people have the right to remain silent, right? That's what the fucking cops tell you every time they put chings on you anyway. You got the right to remain silent. You got the right to remain silent before they put the chings on you. You got the right to remain silent after they put the fucking chings on you. Ching head. You stupid? You don't have to fucking say anything, dude. He's not answering your question, so you put the ching. Are you stupid? God, you dumb, dude. How is it? You know, this guy auditing the auditors claims he's never directly stated, but he has inferred that he spent time in the military. So if he did, he took the oath, right? You know, why don't you honor your fucking oath, dude? If you took the oath, honor it, right? You remember the oath, the same oath that a lot of us take. We don't, I personally have a lot of years in the service myself. Got nearly 2 years of my life under the fucking water in a tube. 2 years. You know, I took that oath that says to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, buddy. Well, you know what? You don't have a constitutional right to privacy, but you do have a First Amendment right to freedom of the press, free speech. You know, you got a Fourth Amendment right to be secure in your things and effects against illegal searches and seizures, and you got a Fifth Amendment right to remain silent against self-incrimination, bud. You know, you just pissing all over the Bill of Rights, buddy. Why don't you go back and reread them? I'll wait here. Go reread them.
Wait, what are you doing?
Let go. Put your hands behind your back. This is what happens when you confuse that to yourself.
You're kidding, right?
Nope. Just relax.
Nope, he definitely wasn't kidding. That's for sure. Idiot.
Yeah, you're the idiot, all right. He wasn't kidding. And guess what? As a result of this, the only reason these cops didn't get sued personally was because there wasn't already case law in the Fifth Circuit. There was case law in several of the other circuits. I know for a fact there's case law in the 11th Circuit already on this. Already, Smith versus the City of Cummins when this happened. The only reason these cops got away with this without having their own meager paychecks garnished for the rest of their careers was because there wasn't case law in the 11th Circuit. So they had what we call qualified immunity, right? They were able to do this douchebaggery and claim they were doing it under the color of the law and they didn't know any better. But guess what? You can't do that now because Turner versus Driver. These officers set the standard for the next guy to come along. So anybody that does this again in the state of Texas or the 11th Circuit in general, they can have their earnings taken from them personally.
Why are you bending my wrist?
Can you start a supervisor?
I'm handcuffed. Why are you bending my wrist?
National Secretary Supervisor.
Can you? I'm handcuffed. There's nothing I can do.
Who are you? What is
Quit
your name?
bending my wrist, man. I'm handcuffed.
You're really lucky I ain't beating your ass with a billy club.
Right, because that would have really worked out well for them. I mean, the fact that they lost the case law in general just for being a dumbasses and hemming a guy up who wasn't breaking any laws and hotboxing his ass, if they'd have just beat the ever-loving shit out of him, I wonder how that would have worked out.
I'm handcuffed, man.
Great idea.
You're bending my wrist, dude. Can you let go of my wrist? Can you let go of my wrist? Well, quit bending it then.
Here's your straight.
Quit bending
All
it.
I'm doing is holding your hand. I'm not bending it. Which way you want to go?
Just let my hand go, man. I'm not doing nothing.
So who are you?
None of your business.
Okay. So you're gonna go down and get fingerprinted then, so we figure out who you are.
That didn't happen, did it?
Playing this the hard way. Why you gotta play it the hard way?
Why you got to play this the hard way? Well, he played it the hard way because you guys are douchebags so that he could get the case law pushed through. He basically did that on purpose to make it so that assholes like you couldn't do that again, ever again, legally and legitimately and say, oh, we didn't know any better, you know. We were just trying to do our jobs.
You made the choice, not us.
Retards, I swear, man.
Let me tell you, there's nothing like having a cop with a sense of humor. Now watch this. You're going to love it.
I'm going to love it, eh?
Let's get one more photo, please, sir.
You refuse to identify yourself.
That's funny, huh?
A credited by seller.
It's funny to see police officers abuse citizens who haven't committed any crimes and disavow them of their constitutional rights. You think that's a big joke, don't you? You ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. If you ever put the uniform on, you talk about, the uniform and people in uniform and all this stuff.
Well, you end up playing with fire, you get burned every once in a while, dumb fuck.
If you ever wore the uniform in your life, you're despicable, dude. You shouldn't. Oh my God, dude. You're pitiful, man. Just really bad. Just really bad. You don't know what that uniform means. You don't know what your oath meant. I tell you what, man. I would just say that the level of recruits in the U.S. military today are not even a fraction what they were 20 years ago, man. They just don't have the same mindset. This guy here, he's the kind of guy that if he was a police officer or he was in uniform, he would turn his rifle on the citizenry at the drop of a hat. I'm telling you, he would do what Master says. And if Master says, hey, go out and shoot civilians, he'd go out and shoot civilians. That's what kind of guy auditing the auditors, his edition is.
Look at that.
What's unfortunate is you aren't filming your forehead with a couple of lumps on that son of a...
All right, I've had about all I can take of this douchebaggery. I don't know what else to say. I mean, this guy, all of his videos are the same thing. He's a bootlicking fucking wannabe cop, retard, moron. His shit isn't funny. It pisses me off personally. I wore the uniform. I don't think that way. I don't walk around with my service on my sleeve, slinging it around like it gives me some sort of special insight into anything. But I did, United States Navy, submarine service, more than 10 years. Got more than 2 years of my life submerged in the ocean. And guess what? I'm a freedom-loving American. And when I see cops do this kind of shit to a civilian, it fucking makes my blood boil. When I was in the Navy, civilians were our bosses. We knew it. We called them sir or ma'am. We listened to what they had to say. We paid attention. We were smart and everything like that. We didn't violate, our orders. But in general, we were on our P's and Q's when we were dealing with the regular public. And that's just how we were taught, 30 years ago when I was in the Navy. Guy here, as best as I can tell, he claims that he was in the military at some point. Now he's like a contractor over in Iraq, sucking off the teat of the taxpayer while he's making these stupid douchebaggery videos. Dude, if you see this, man, get your shit together, dude. Quit pissing all over the Constitution. Quit pissing all over freedom. You're not funny. You're not fun, and you're not funny. And, quit acting like you got 1,000-yard stare to your videos. And what are you, like 14? All right, that's it. I've had enough, dude. I'm pissed off now. I'm going to go kick my dog. Y'all have a good one.